Hello guys and welcome to this sort of different intro. I've never done it like this before. So yeah, this is the face that is behind all those videos on the channel that you may have seen before, maybe you didn't. So welcome to those who are new, and of course welcome to you returning viewers. But of course I'm not here to show you my face. The reason I am here is because it is time for a new season of classic Formula 1. And once again, you've chosen some great taste in your vote, as you've chosen the 1975 season. Now, the 70s was an interesting era in the history of Formula 1, and that is because, well, Formula 1 was slowly starting to become of age because, well, in the late 60s, the first aerodynamic elements have been introduced to cars. They were getting quicker and quicker by the 70s, but also the sport was becoming more dangerous and dangerous. That is because, of course, the cars have been evolving very fast in these couple of years ahead of the 1975 season, for example. But the tracks, well, the tracks were still largely as they were in the 60s. But at the same time, this means that in our safe virtual environment, it's gonna be a very, very interesting season because the tracks we're racing at might sound very familiar. You all know the names of Kyalami, Interlagos, or, well, the Nürburgring, of course. But in the 70s, these tracks were very different to the ones we know nowadays. And then, of course, there is the iconic drivers that will be competing in this season. Just imagine that is at the time where James Hunt and Niki Lauda were the names of upcoming hotshots, and Emerson Fittipaldi was the reigning champion in 1975. For the first time, actually, that the famous McLaren team wore the famous number 1 on their car, thanks to Emerson Fittipaldi winning the championship in 1974. Now today, the first race of this season will be the Argentine Grand Prix at Buenos Aires. And well, if you're not familiar... Oh, my cats are just going crazy. Don't mind that. And if you're familiar with this series, you know that I will be driving as a new driver for each and every race. And of course, for the Argentine Grand Prix, we're gonna race as local hero Carlos Reutemann in the Brabham. And now, without further ado, let's look at the starting grid for the opening race of our 1975 Formula 1 mini-season, as we're about to start this new season, which I'm very, very excited for. Well, and here we are now. This is how we will be going into the season opener. Tom Price has surprisingly got pole position yesterday in his shadow, and alongside him it's reigning champion Emerson Fittipaldi. Then we have Niki Lauda in third, Carlos Pace, our teammate, in fourth, James Hunt fifth. We start from P6. Then we have Jochen Mass in seventh, Jean-Pierre Jarier in eighth, Clay Regazzoni 9th, Jody Scheckter, Jack Hicks, Vittorio Brambilla, Patrick Depailler, Mark Donoghue, Ronnie Peterson and Rolf Stommelen. These are the top 16. And then we have Dave Charlton, Mario Andretti, Chris Amon, Leila Lombardi, Graham Hill, Wilson Fittipaldi, and then Evans, Tanma, Kaizen and Arturo Merzario for the rest of the grid. And here we are now on the grid, waiting for the lights to go out at Argentina, and they do now, and the 1975 Formula 1 mini-season in Automobilista 2 is underway, and immediately we get overtaken by Jochen Mass in the number 2 McLaren, now into that very fast right-left combination that is turns 1 and 2. We go as Mass runs off the road, then rejoins and even makes contact with us a little bit, but that has kept us ahead of Mass. Oh, as we run a little wide into turn 3, Curvon de Salotto. And we are now behind Mass once again. Behind us, this is Jarier trying to make an impression on us, as we now drive on Recta del Lago, just by the lake here on the right hand side. This part of the track is the one that was only used during
well, the 70s stint of Formula 1 in Argentina. Later on in the 90s, when Formula 1 returned, we did use a shorter layout without the run around the lake. As now into the Entrada a los Mixtos, we move past, or well, at least alongside Jochen Mass. He's still there now, through Viverita, and now through Cajon. We have the outside line, we'll leave him the space, and now we gave him a little bit of a squeeze, but he had none of it, and managed to make the move stick for now at least. Oh, he does not get the greatest of exits out of Toboggan and then into Curva de Parga, turn 14, the final proper corner on this track. We move past Mass again, and we finish the first out of 26 laps. Niki Lauda from P3 has taken the lead, Fittipaldi second, Palce third, Tom Price with a horrendous opening lap from P1 already down into P4. Ahead of us, this is James Hunt in the Hesketh, who is also trying to make a move on Tom Price's shadow. And then already in 6th, it is ourselves. Now through that very, very long and fast right-hander at the far end of the lake. Hunt moves past Price. And now we try to get a good exit out of that one, because this is probably one of the circuit's best overtaking spots. Slipstream on Recta del Lago, and then into the Ascari chicane. Price defends the inside and is successful doing that. We are also very early on the brakes there, as I'm still getting used to drive these cars, but this is now a good opportunity for us. Tom Price in lap 2 from P1 down to P6 already, and now he's already under pressure by Jochen Mass. Clay Ragazzoni is also there. And we jump a little bit ahead as Price busy with those behind us, and we now try to keep up with James Hunt, and we actually get a brilliant run on him on Recta del Lago, and maybe we even have a chance into the Ascari chicane. Oh, we are late on the brakes, but James Hunt even later, and well, he slams the door. No chance for us to make an impression. Well, the other drivers seem not so quick through that right-hander just ahead of the hairpin here, but we couldn't use that to our advantage yet, with James Hunt at least. Oh, and behind us, Jochen Maas made it past Price as well. We get a terrible exit out of there. And then into Toboggan, he makes it past. But, we get the better exit out of that corner. And then into the final hairpin, turn 14. We manage to fully stay ahead of Jochen Mass. This is just a lap later. We are all over the back of James Hunt here. And this time we are much closer. We get the slipstream very early, and once again into the chicane after that long straight. Oh, we run a little wide. This is the opportunity for Hunt to still stay ahead. Oh, we didn't get a good run through that corner, and Hunt takes that to his advantage, and now that was completely cutting us off. Not the cleanest and fairest defensive move there by James Hunt. Now he forces us here the long way, and Jochen Maas slips through. Oh, we drop out. No, we don't drop out of the points. We're still in 6th. But Jochen Maas takes 5th from us. And in our rear mirror, running wide out of that corner once again, Cajon. And now this is the opportunity for Clay Ragazzoni in the second Ferrari. Disappointing qualifying for the Swiss driver. Disappointing run out of that corner. And then we managed to slip past him once again as... Oh, Mars made it past Hunt them. Yeah, and in the meantime, James Hunt made it past the German in the McLaren. But the battle is still not over. And now we look... Oh, we are looking to take advantage out of their battle to maybe hit two birds with one rock. Now Hunt trying to get a good slipstream there off... sorry, that's Jochen Maas. Maas getting a good slipstream from Hunt. Now we try to have a look down the inside. Oh, we have to back out of it. That makes us vulnerable to Clay Regazzoni. Oh, a little bit too early on the throttle there. Having to lift. And then that is the opportunity now for Regazzoni side by side towards the Ascari chicane. But, well, we have the much better top speed in the Brabham. That honestly surprises me a bit. The Ferrari with its V12 engine had no chance there on the straight. And Maas still desperately trying to get past James Hunt in his Hesketh. And all the while, Niki Lauda is still in the lead of this race, once again running wide through Cajon. This is this technical bit after turn 7. This is the one where we're really struggling. The rest of the track we seem pretty quick. As we enter the next lap, still having front row seats to that brilliant battle between Hunt and Maas ahead of us. And Hunt still manages to stay ahead. Now maybe with a good run out of turn 2 onto the long straight. This is looking very good indeed. Now we already moved past Maas. And now we try to get the slipstream from Hunt as well. We attack him into turn 3. Oh, but he hangs onto it around the outside. But running a little wide is Hunt. And then we manage to slip through once again. Hunt still on the outside. Oh, side by side through that very fast right hander. Hunt running a little wide, rejoining the track once again. Almost a little bit of contact, and we back out of that move, and that gives Jochen Maas the opportunity to move past ourselves once again. But as we've seen with Regazzoni, we're very fast on that straight. Regazzoni is also there now. Wow, it's a 4-car battle here for P5. Absolutely brilliant racing in the opening race here in Argentina, and this is now a good opportunity against Jochen Maas once again. He leaves the inside open, and we manage to slip through and are back into the points. P6. So of course, well, you could have figured that, I think, from me talking about P6 being in the points, but the top 6 also in 1975 are the ones that score points. It's just slightly different point scoring scheme, like 9 points for the win, as we move past Hunt into the final corner. He left the inside very open there, and well, we take that to our advantage, but Hunt is still there. Into turn 1, maybe he has an opportunity for a counter-attack. No, doesn't seem like it. He backs off, and we are now up into P5. And now we are watching the battle in the lower midfield. This is Ronnie Peterson in the disappointing Lotus for the 1975 season. And he's battling with Mark Donoghue and his Penske. And right now it looks like Donahue can go faster. Oh, and Peterson loses it into turn 6, and then he stalls in the middle of the road and he gets hit there by, I think that was Rolf Stommelen in the Embassy Hill, and then, oh no, oh that is terrible. I think that was Chris Amon in the Ensign that ultimately hit him there. Well, that is Peterson out of the race for Lotus, and we now caught up to P2 and 3. This is Emerson Fittipaldi against Carlos Pache. The battle of the Brazilians. Fittipaldi just made it past Pache and up into P2. And Pache, our teammate, down to 3. And now we are making it a South American three-way fight. Oh, 3 wide towards turn 3. That surely does not work. We back out of it, but Carlos Pache now with the opportunity to move past Fittipaldi. And he does that! Contact between the two of them! Oh, that is scary at that point of the track, and that could have been an opportunity for us, but we are once again a little early on the throttle and we have to lift halfway through the corner to actually make it. And, well, just a little correction. I've been talking about the battle for P5 before. This, of course, was the battle for P4 with James Hunt. Sorry, I mixed that up, so there was no car in between Hunt and these two, so yeah, apologies for that. Now around the outside of Fittipaldi. That does not work. Now through the technical bit, we know we are usually not too quick here, but that seems to be a problem of the Brabham. Carlos Pache, our teammate, also seems a bit slow through here. Oh, and that is a terrible exit out of that corner from Pache. And this is the opportunity for us. We get a wheel alongside Emerson. And he thought like attacking Pache into the final corner as well. Well, that did not work, as we are now up into the podium spots. And now just behind our teammate, we try to find a way past into turn 1. That does not work, as Fittipaldi behind us. He's looking for an opportunity to get back into the podium positions, and he does so as we, well, go a little deep into turn 2. He's alongside us, but we are ahead. We have the inside. Oh, Fittipaldi runs wide, backs out of it, and we even get the opportunity against Pache, but we back out of that move as well. Trying it the safe way with loads of slipstream on Recta del Lago. And then towards the Ascari chicane, we're getting a very, very good run. There we go. Pache is still there, late on the brakes, stays ahead of us. So, no love lost between these teammates here. Oh, as we try to find a way down the inside here into the hairpin, but, well, there was still the debris from that Ronnie Peterson accident. And we almost run over that. Luckily, no damage to our car. Or as long as we can, as far as we can tell. Now look in our mirror. This is Emerson Fittipaldi still not giving up on that fight for P2. Of course, why would he? As we now move past Carlos Pache into the final hairpin. And now, well, we are up into P2 and we already getting some distance between ourselves and our teammates. And now let's see. That is the gap with 10 laps to go between ourselves and race leader Niki Lauda. 6.7 seconds and 10 laps still to go. And this here is the battle for P7. They still all have some good chances to score points. James Hunt is that white car in the background. He has dropped down to P9 now. And this is Jody Scheckter and Patrick Depailler, the two Tyrrell teammates in these blue cars. And, oh, is there smoke coming out of one of those cars? Oh, now it looks like it's gone. Couldn't make out who that was. But, yeah, I think there is some smoke. Oh, yeah, it's Jody Scheckter! It's Jody Scheckter! Now the smoke increases and he gets very slow. Depailler and Hunt move past. Scheckter slows down and has to park his Tyrrell. Disappointing start to the season for the Tyrrell team that was so great in the early 70s with Jackie Stewart. And now, well, that is not the start of the season they would have hoped for. And we are seeing Lauda ahead of us. 3.1 seconds. He just goes into turn 1 there. But these two cars ahead of us are a lap down. This is Arturo Massario in the Frank Williams team car. And that is Lella Lombardi, the only woman on the grid, in her March. And we move past her. And now we can fully focus on Niki Lauda and his Ferrari ahead of us. 2.5 laps to go. That has certainly cost us time, so the gap has surely increased from the 3.1 seconds that the gap was at the beginning of that lap. But we have been gaining steadily throughout the last 7 laps after we made it past Carlos Pace. So there still is an opportunity. That is Niki Lauda right ahead there. The Austrian in his Ferrari immediately made an impression when he joined the Scuderia. And now he might be able to win the opening race of the 1975 season here in Buenos Aires. But there is one man that is still trying to stop him, and that is us as Carlos Reutemann in the Brabham. And we can be sure that the crowd is on our side, the home crowd. This is Niki Lauda going into the penultimate lap. The gap is down to 2.7 seconds now, despite the lap traffic we had there. In the background you can see us now going through turns 1 and 2. We go back on board with us to see that battle, which is still a long distance battle for now. To watch that from our perspective. The hunt for the race win is still on, but we need to get on with it. We need to set 2 absolutely fantastic laps, and then of course, well, we still need to make it past. Catching up is one thing, overtaking an entirely different. That is true for all eras of motorsport, for all types of motorsport. So no difference here in 1975. And do we get closer? Well, it's hard to tell right now. I think we do. Indeed we do. I think we are much closer now. In these hairpins you can really tell that the straights are a bit misleading with these high speeds, because of course 2 seconds in a corner look very different to 2 seconds in a straight line. I think we're still catching up, but we're running out of time. Already coming up towards the final corner of the second to last lap. But we are closer and closer. Let's see what the gap is as we cross the line. Going into the final lap of the 1975 Argentine Grand Prix. Niki Lauda 1.8 seconds ahead, and this is going to be a very tough job. Well, just about 1 second is the amount of time we gained on that penultimate lap. We need to double that amount in this lap, and we're now really pushing as hard as we can, as hard as this Brabham allows us. Well, of course, still not too used to these cars that drive very different to any of those we have already driven on this channel before, but it was a really enjoyable experience, and maybe we can even top it off here as well through the Ascari chicane. Oh, a little early on the throttle, we lose the car, we spin out. Oh, luckily we kept the car going, managed to spin it around and get back. Still in P2, the gap was big enough to Fittipaldi behind us, but that of course means that this man here, the Austrian Niki Lauda, is going to win the Argentine Grand Prix. He just needs to keep it on the black stuff now. Through toboggan for the final time, and then he has only one hairpin and one left-hand kink to go to cross the line in Buenos Aires. This is a Team Gunston McLaren just ahead of him. He won't be trying to lap him because, well, he does not need to. And there goes Niki Lauda across the line. Lauda wins in Argentina. The opening race of the season belongs to Ferrari. And now let's of course also look at our finish as we come around the final corner. And across the line we go to finish second. A very pleasant result, I guess, for the home crowd. We just were not able to make it. Even without the spin, I don't think we would have finished higher than second, so no harm done. And let's look at today's point scorers. Niki Lauda wins 7.8 seconds ahead of Carlos Reutemann. Emerson Fittipaldi then in 30 managed to clear Carlos Pace. Clay Regazzoni, brilliant race by him as well. He moved up to 4th, Pace 5th, and Jochen Maas scoring the final point in 6th. And for the Drivers' Championship, that of course means, well, exactly the same, seeing as this is the first round of the season. Tough luck for Patrick Depailler in the Tyrrell. He finished 7th. Yeah, those from P7 to 10 are ordered in the order of the highest finish. So, well, just more of today's race result here. And let's also look at the Constructors' Championship. And this is very interesting because both Ferraris, both Brabhams and both McLarens finished in the points, which means we only have 3 teams that scored points. A brilliant opening race for Ferrari, of course. 12 points on the board already. And, well, of course, the other teams also sorted by their highest finish, which means, well, by today's race finish. And that has been it for the opening race of our 1975 mini season. Well, what can I say? These cars are a lot of fun to drive, and you can actually properly race very good with them. So I'm already looking very much forward to the next race, which will be the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time, and we're gonna race at Interlagos, but Interlagos with a twist, as it is almost double the length of the track that we know today. So subscribe to not miss that. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. See you hopefully for the next video. Until then, goodbye.